How's it going, guys, and welcome back to Suburban Hunt 365. I am DJ. We're not actually in the reloading room today, but we are continuing on with our muzzleloader series. I've really been waiting to get into these FireStars to kind of see how they work. And when I was looking up some data on them, the manufacturer says to start at 3 pellets is 100 grains, and then go up to, I believe, 6 pellets in a load. I guess six pellets would be their magnum load, I guess. And that kind of made me nervous, because with all the other pellets I've ever used, it's 50 grains, 100 is 2, 3 is 150, and you stop there. Now all of a sudden I'm being told to load 5 and 6. Kind of gives me the heebie-jeebies, I'm not gonna lie. But I'm sure you guys have the same questions and same concerns, so I want to lay that to rest today for myself and for everybody watching. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna answer 2 questions. One, are they nuts? Am I really going to put 6 pellets in there and see what happens, which we're going to find out. But 2, are these as consistent as they say? Because apparently these have a better burn rate, they're cleaner, and I would hope that they're more consistent. So their standard deviation should be a lot smaller. So we're going to test that today. So today we are doing consistency and standard deviations between all the powders. My chronograph was down for most of the testing that you guys have seen up till now, because I busted. I got way too close to the muzzleloader and I broke the screen. So I got a brand new one here set up at about 12 yards. It says between 5 and 15. So we got it set up at 12 feet. My apologies, 12 feet. So what we're going to do is, I have a bunch of these 245 grain power belts that the coppers that I found on sale. So I've got 3 brand new boxes of these, or cases of these. So we're going to be using the same 250 grain projectiles through this entire test. We're going to start with our 777s, which we have here. We're going to do the 100 grain and 150 grain. Then we're going to move over to the Pyrodex, 100 grain, 150 grain. Same thing with the white hots, 100 and 150. And then we're going to get into these guys. And we're going to start off with the 3 pellets, which is supposed to be the 100 grains. And then, depending on how we look, we will continue on from there, going from 3 to 4 to 5. I really don't know that I like the idea of running 6. And I'll have to double check the manufacturer's paper to see if that's even correct. But I doubt very seriously I'm going to go above 5. So, during this whole test, we will also be using CCI 209 primers. Okay, these are the Magnum shotgun primers that I've used since the start. We are going to be using those. So for you, those of you that are keeping score, CCI Magnum shotgun primers, 245 grain power belt coppers. Okay, and then we're going to start deviating on the powders and go from there. So that is our setup. That is what we are doing. So I'm going to shut up and I'm going to start putting some shots out range. Alright, so that was the 100 grain 777s. Okay, that according to our calculations, the calculator's calculations, that was the standard deviation of 37.6. Not awesome, but let's compare the rest. So now we're going to go to the 150 grain 777. Alright, so that was the 150 grains of 777. Now the standard deviation, as you can see here, is 45.1. So our standard deviation actually got worse moving up to the 3. We're going to go ahead and move on to the Pyrodex. Alright guys, that was the Pyrodex. Yeah, what more can I say? That standard deviation came in at 207.7. But anyway, let's go ahead and run the 150 just to give it its due and see how that turns out. Alright, so that was the Pyrodex 150 grains worth. It is a lot better than the 100 grains, the 250s, but it still came in at 104. So anyway, so at this point, 777s has by far won this contest, but we got some big hitters coming up. So we're gonna put this aside, and now we're gonna bring in the white hots. All right, so that was the 100 grains, white hots. Deviation came in at 43.4. So back to what we kind of expected, kind of what we were seeing with the 777s. So yeah, let's go ahead and run the 150s and see if we don't get a little bit better out of that one. Holy cow. Alright, that was 150 grains of white hot, so 3 pellets of white hot. Standard deviation 5.249. 5.25. That's incredible. I do believe white hots has kind of won me over with that so far. I'll have to look back at the white hots and videos, and especially the 150, and see which particular projectile did the best as far as accuracy goes, because I may be switching up some loads there. That some pretty good consistency there. So all right, so let's get into the uncharted waters of the FireStars. All right, so let's see. Intended for use, 777s is intended to be used with newly manufactured inline 50 cal muzzleloaders using a 209 ignition system. Failure to load the firearm in strict accordance with the instructions may cause personal injury or death. Maximum load warning. The maximum load should never exceed a total of 100 grain equivalent of pellets. Caution. Some rifle manufacturers may recommend to use the number of pellets in their rifles which exceeds Hodgins, maximum load warning. Hodgins specifically disclaims any and all liability use data that exceeds the maximum load warning. The user assumes all risk in doing so. Well, that's interesting. As what you're seeing on your screen now is actually the velocity of these list of projectiles with 3, 4, and 5 pellets of the 777 FireStars, but clearly states on the bottom of this sheet that 3 pellets produces 100 grain volume equivalent velocities or higher. The lower pressures then, so well, that says that velocity equivalent or higher, but it doesn't tell us what the 100 grains is. And my understanding is that each one of these is 33 grains a piece. So 3 of them is 99 grains. So we're right at that 100 mark. So it's interesting that the manufacturer is kind of covering their own butt on this one. They're telling you that the maximum load is 100 grains, which is 3 pellets. But then on their very own website, it says 3, 4, and 5 pellet velocities. But basically, it's shooting at your own risk type deal. So what we'll do is we'll kind of use this as a chart to kind of see what the velocities we have. Really, because once we get into the 2000s, then we're really kind of cooking. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna run 3 pellets, which is that 100 grain equivalent, right? 33, 3 is 99. So we're gonna run those 3 pellets through 3 times and get the standard deviation from that, and kind of see what our velocities are and go from there. Depending on what kind of velocities we have, we may step up to 4, or we may just stop there. So let's find out. Alright guys, that was the first run of the FireStars. Didn't break 1900 feet per second, so I would say it's definitely a lighter load. but it was consistent though, pretty much. I mean, I didn't have the the deviation that a white hot 150 grain did, but 24.2, that doesn't seem to be bad. It's definitely better than the 777s, definitely better than the Pyrodex. So I am actually going to go ahead, we're going to go ahead and go to the 4 pellets and see kind of where we land with that. Alright, so the 4 pellets went pretty good, I think. We went from 1,800 feet per second to 2,000 feet per second. The standard deviation on that one was 17.6. Let me make sure I got that right. You guys see it on your screen here. 17.6, yes. Which isn't terrible, but it's still not the same deviation that we had out of the white hots to the 150 grains. I think the white hots were moving a little bit faster as far as feet per second goes. So I really don't know. I'm probably going to shoot twice on the 5 pellets and see how that goes. Alright guys, well that was the 5 pellets of FireStar, and I'm telling you right now, any of you guys that have used the 3.5 turkey loads, it just beats you down. That's exactly what that round does. It beats you down. Now we got about 2,200 feet per second out of it, so not crazy fast, but faster than I need it to go, especially for that kind of a butt whooping. So I'll be sticking with, if I was going to run these, honestly I'd stick with 4 pellets. 3 at 1,800 feet per second is not really doing a whole lot. The 4 at the 2,000-ish range, that's pretty good. That's pretty close to where I'd use it. So for me personally, I would be sticking around as long as the accuracy holds out. If the accuracy holds out, I'd be using 4 pellets of the FireStar, and that'll be our next video that we get into. Is going to be taking these FireStars and using those across the different projectiles that we've been using in the past to figure out which one is the most accurate with the FireStars, now that we've got a good idea. But for today's video, the consistency test, white hots, 150 grains, hands down wins with a 5.25 deviation between the different speeds. I'm going to be going back and looking at my own video, which I'll put a link to right here, to see which one, to remind myself which one of the projectiles actually did good or great with the 150 grains. And I wouldn't be surprised if that particular video kind of outran all the rest of them, which I'll go through and look at those too, to see which, with that kind of consistency, I have to imagine that those projectiles landed a lot better. But anyway guys, if you've been with me this far, I really do appreciate you. I know this is a long one. Do me a favor, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, comment down below. Let me know that you're a Pyrodex user and I'm an idiot. That's fine. That's fine. I give you the data that I have. So again, I appreciate you guys. I'm DJ with Suburban Hunt 365. Keep your lines tight and your bullets right. That's what we're doing here today, keeping those bullets right. Until next time, see you.